Deep within Russia's northern Ural Mountains lies a place the local Mansi people called entered this wilderness. None of them would return alive. Led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, the group wasn't inexperienced. They were skilled mountaineers, prepared for one of the Soviet Union's toughest winter expeditions. Their route crossed one of the most remote regions in the Soviet Union. Once they entered these mountains, help would be days away. Ahead stood Kholat Syakhl. To the Mansi people, its name carried an unsettling meaning. But for the hikers, it was simply another mountain to cross. The hikers documented nearly every step of their journey. Their cameras captured ordinary nation, never hinting that these would become the final images anyone would ever see. On the afternoon of February 1st, the group chose to camp on the open slope instead of descending into the shelter of the nearby forest, one of the most debated aspects of the entire case. As evening settled over the mountain, temperatures dropped rapidly. Inside the tent, the group prepared for another cold winter night, unaware that this would be their final. What we do know is that by the next Kholat Syakhl would conceal one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in modern history. The group was expected to return on February 12th, but when no message arrived, friends assumed they had simply been delayed by bad weather. Days passed, and when the hikers still hadn't returned, volunteers, military personnel, and local Mansi trackers launched an extensive search across the frozen mountains. On February 26th, searchers found the expedition's tent. Detail immediately stood out. The tent had been cut open from the inside. Even more puzzling were the footprints. Some appeared to have been made by hikers wearing only socks, or even barefoot, as they walked away from the tent into the freezing night. Following the footprints, searchers reached the edge of the forest. Beneath a large cedar tree, they made their first discovery. Between the cedar tree and the abandoned tent, 3 more hikers were found. Their positions suggested they had been moving back toward the campsite, but none of them made it. The search continued for weeks, but 4 members of the expedition remained missing. Began to melt that investigators uncovered the final chapter of the tragedy. When the remaining 4 hikers were finally found, investigators documented injuries unlike those seen in severe internal trauma, raising questions that would fuel decades of speculation. As investigators assembled the evidence, one question overshadowed every report. What could have forced 9 experienced hikers to abandon the safety of their tent in the middle of a freezing night? Over the decades, countless explanations were proposed. Some were grounded in science, others drifted into speculation. But only a few would stand up to careful investigation. For years, many dismissed an avalanche. The slope appeared too gentle, but models suggest a delayed slab avalanche was possible.
One of the leading modern explanations combines delayed slab snow movement with powerful mountain winds.
Together, many researchers believe a combination of terrain, snow conditions, and extreme weather offers the most convincing explanation. As the years passed, captured imaginations around the world. Extraordinary theories spread quickly, but most lacked credible evidence and often overshadowed the actual investigation. More than 60 years later, the evidence remains remarkably consistent. Investigators know where the hikers traveled, where they were found, conditions they faced. Today, surrounded by endless snow and silence, it's easy to understand how quickly nature can overwhelm even the most experienced explorers. Whether every detail is ever fully explained or not, one truth remains unchanged. Their journey into these mountains became one of his most enduring mysteries. Decades after the tragedy, Russian authorities reopened the records and computer simulations. Researchers revisited one of history's most debated mysteries. Even if the hikers left because of natural forces, some details remain uncertain. Investigators still debate the exact sequence of events after they abandoned the tent. Behind every mystery are real people. 9 young adventurers set out to test their limits in one of Earth's harshest environments.
More than 60 years later, the mountain still stands exactly where it always has, silent and forever linked to one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries.
Perhaps the greatest lesson of Dyatlov Pass isn't that the mountains hide supernatural secrets, but that nature itself. History remembers Dyatlov Pass as a mystery, but before it became a mystery, It was simply the story of 9 friends sharing one final adventure together. Science has answered many questions about Dyatlov Pass. Yet, like many chapters of history, some details may never be known with complete certainty. Dyatlov Pass reminds us that the greatest mysteries often begin where human knowledge ends. Until the next trail, keep exploring.